It's done. All right, so we're done with prefer now. Can you guys see my screen? All right, yeah, y'all can see my screen. All right, so the last thing we're gonna learn today is actually the popular form. So, usually you would get asked, is something popular? So yeah, for example, what sports are popular in your country? What are bikes popular in your country? Usually would ask what X is popular in your country, your hometown, whatever you're in. It's mostly reliant on your area. So best thing you could do, the best thing you could do for these types of questions is that you learn the way to answer these questions properly. So yeah, and you need to know a lot about your country a bit as well. And generally, since you guys are the younger generation, it's probably easier for you guys to do so. So, there's a lot of words that you could use to replace popular, such as beyond the rage, well liked, prominent, and prevalent. I would use well liked, prominent, or prevalent as these are the most common words examiners would expect from you. So yeah, you could use these all those, but I would like to see well liked, prominent, or well known, or prevalent. These three words, four actually, are really nice words you could use. Um, so yeah, you could also use ubiquitous, but it's a really complex word. I don't expect you guys to use it, but it's really good if you guys could. So yeah, you would say something is common, widespread, overwhelming, or omnipresent as well. Usually, I would say common or widespread would be the best one for words like these. Um, all right, and gaining in popularity is also a really good way to say if something is becoming popular. But yeah, gaining popularity is also a pretty good way into saying into saying as something gets more important and more well known. So yeah, and gaining ground is also another good term that you could use as well. I also think you guys should use that as well. Yeah, that's really the first term that you need to do. So now you need to try to use these strategically. Part two and part three should use the more formal ones, and part one we should use the less formal ones. So the ones so the some of these such as the word let's say um let me see. Like the in thing now would be auto rage. These two can be useful in part one. You could also say prominent, prevalent, or ubiquitous or well known in these in part one as well. But yeah, you could use these words are really versatile and you could use them basically almost you can basically use them like together or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, so informal idiomatic expressions. Usually, you would say ahead or be trending, or in fashion style. These three are really common to use. I actually use trending a lot. You guys could also use trending. It's also kind of a reliable one as well. So yeah, that's what I would recommend you guys using. Being fashion and style is also pretty good, but I don't really use these as much. The talk of the town is very interesting though. It's a really interesting idiom, and I actually use it unironically in real life conversations sometimes. So yeah, you should definitely pick up some of these for words. All right. Be in demand and be a go-to and the ones that are in red are actually really nice. Be in demand, I believe, is probably the most useful one out of all of these. But the others are equally as useful. Just that I found this one to be more helpful for me. Being high circulation, and being high circulation, usually you wouldn't use this as much. You wouldn't use this as much, but you could say this if you're talking about products that are really popular and therefore they have many people wanting them. But yeah, generally I wouldn't use these ones over here. Highly sought after is actually decent though, so I would use that. All right, due to bad clipping, I will have to explain how to solve this type of question. So, to solve popular type questions, you need to explain why it's popular in your hometown, why it's popular in your country. So, for example, if you say something is popular in Vietnam, why is it popular in Vietnam? What makes it popular in Vietnam? If I say if whatever if I say why are I can't really think of an example right now. I'm not really updated to Vietnamese social media. But if you could explain to the examiner why it's popular, that's the best way. If you, for example, you need to explain, for example, if soccer is a really popular sport in Vietnam, then why is soccer popular in Vietnam? Is there a reason why soccer is popular? You need to explain to the examiner why that is so. So, for example, let's say our bike's popular in your country. I might be wrong about this, but this is from my personal experience, okay? So please don't be offended, anybody that's watching the video or this meeting. Anyways, generally I believe that that biking is actually declining in usage amongst the younger generation due to the rise of motorcycles and cars being and also services such as Grab and taxi like services in the recent years. Therefore, the usage of that has been declining quite massively, and as such I believe that even though it's still popular amongst the older generation, it is slowly being less popular for the younger people of our generation. So yeah, that's a way I would answer our bikes popular in your country. Now, would anybody to try to answer the first or the second question here before we end the class? Anyone? Would anyone like to answer? Anyone? Would anybody like to answer one of these questions? Yes, Lucy. How would you answer this question?
I will answer the question. What sport are popular in your country?
All right.
Well,
Yes.
in my country, I think in my places right now, I think football is really popular in my places because we when we are playing football, seems like everybody are doing have a teamwork, which they need to pass the ball and how to get a goal. If the people wins, they just have fun with it. Because the day I went to watch the football with my dad, I saw that a lot of men trying to kick a ball, just trying to clutch it out and take the ball. I found it pretty interesting for the boys in my apartment to play with. So I do the same because playing football is not only a sport, it makes an essential skill for you in your daily life too. Like when you're playing sport, your foot keep running. That's time you are inducing your fat because if you're fat, maybe if you keep running on the football field like that, you make in decreasing fast down. Also, when we are running fast like in our football field like that, it's it's more fun than we were in the gym running on the machine.
Okay. Really good answer. I do have a small problem, actually, a little bit of a huge problem with some of the answers that you guys have given. I would say they're really good. I will say that. However, the issue is that they're a bit too long for IELTS Part 1. I know that you guys might be interested in some topics, and me too. I do have interest in things as well. If you didn't know that. But yeah, you need to keep your interests in control. You need to try, to keep whatever you like in control. You need to keep the time not too high, but not too low. Because if you keep your time too high, then the examiner might reduce your points due to your score, your band score because of that. So yeah, I know you guys might be interested in something, but you need to try to control it. But yeah, really good answer, guys. I really didn't expect that from you guys. As normal, I will be hoping to send you guys my I hope I will be sending you guys my the things that we've learned today and yesterday as well. But yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot from today's lesson, and I hope to see you next week. I think when I come back from my camping trip. Yeah. See you guys, and yeah, we will be learning more part one parts, and I will be setting homework. So, yeah, you guys should do it if you guys want to practice. But yeah, goodbye, everybody. Have a good day.